have a look at this grub. Okay, so this one's come in for a service and inspection, just what we'll call a general service, not really a minor service, but it includes, you know, changing the oil filter, lubricating the driveline, checking the whole car bumper to bumper, and plug-in diagnostic. Basically check out the whole vehicle. And as I've said before, we don't muck around telling you about whether your washer jets or your wiper blades are clearing the screen or whether your aircon's working or not. It's more all the things that all the other places don't see. Now let's just have a look around quickly from one side to the other and see what we can find that's going to be a problem. And things you need to look out for, things you can avoid, and how to fix them. Easy, simple solutions. So starting up here, see all these leaves? Pick them up and put them in the bin, clean them out, because they're just going to rot away and end up down through there and cause problems later, like rust and stuff like that, including down there as well, right? So you need to keep things clean. It's not just about me. Of course I don't want to touch it, it's dirty. But you know what? It's not about me, it's about looking after the vehicle as well, and so we can see what the problems are. Now we can see a bit of a problem here. There's some oil on this intercooler cover, and you can see it's gone down the pipe there, and it's all that's very messy. Now if you went some places, I'm not going to name anywhere, they'd say, oh, you got a leak, you know, they'll look underneath and tell you need a turbo because there's oil all over it. Now what's going on there? Someone's worked on it before. How do we know that? There's bolts missing, okay? So there's a bolt missing on this one because they just couldn't take the bolt out and put it back in where it came from. That's just too hard, isn't it? You know, it's one of those complicated things. Not. Anyway, the fact that they've worked on it, the evidence is there. They've probably had the intercooler off, and they've probably undone those 3 bolts that hold that bit of pipe on the intercooler instead of just undoing the clamp down the bottom there the way we showed you, so you can avoid those problems. Now, valve cover, let's have a look here. A bit of oil around the valve cover. Cover could be cracked, it could be the top seals, who knows. We'll have to show you that when the vehicle comes back, when we get into doing more deep surgery. But at the moment we're looking at the general things. Okay, so we already covered the bolt missing. We've got those in stock to replace that. What's going on? This plug isn't meant to be floating around there, is it? Oh yeah, that's right, that is where that goes. Now I'm making stuff up. Okay, wiring rubbing on the aircon pipes, not yet, but that should be more like over there. So we'll give that a rework and see if any of those clamps, there's a couple of clamps and clips, you've got to make sure that's right, because if that wiring, as we've described and shown you in other videos, if that's rubbing on those alloy pipes, it will eventually rub through, not good. Okay, working our way around, actually back here a sec. The coolant looks absolutely filthy and it's a little bit low also, so we'll be keeping an eye out for a coolant leak, because that is low, just a little bit down. Okay, sorry about that, Little had to go and take a phone call, but yeah, the coolant really low. Not really low, a little bit low, but really low compared to what Prados normally are. So we're going to be looking for radiator leaks and water pump leaks while we're working on the vehicle. Of course, you know, the BFE job hadn't been done, I wouldn't say. Water pump may or may not have been changed, can't really tell from here. Looking for problems for you though. The clips holding the auto lines are there, that's good. Is the clip holding that hose? Hard to tell at the moment, I'm not going to reach down there. I'm going to tell you things that I can see from a quick look. Bit of, you know, wiring just zip tied anywhere, whatever, rubbing on the edge of the steel there, whatever. This antenna is totally kaput, right? See this? Look at this. That is rubbish, right? So this antenna, rubbish. So we're going to do him a favour and we're going to unbolt that and chop that wire, because it is rubbish. Just get it out of the way. Look at it. I mean, anyway, make sure the battery's secure. Now let's have a look around this side and see what we can find, because this is the fun side. Sorry, the other side's the boring side. This is the fun side. What can we find here? I always like to just gently go, oh, that radiator seems like it's moving a bit much. Oh, look at that. Nuts and bolts missing on the radiator. Look, the whole radiator moves back and forward. Someone's definitely worked on this, because the bits and pieces are missing from the radiator there. Okay. What else have we got? See, told you we'd find stuff, the fun side. That's all right, it's all right. It's all good. Yeah, let's see. Okay, oh, here we go, look at this. The fuel hose is just flopping around, rubbing on everything where it's going to rub through. It needs to have the clip. There's meant to be a clip between those two hoses. You can see the white mark there. So the clip's missing. Someone's definitely worked on this. Oh, look, who can tell me? Come on in the comments. First one to put it in the comments. Why is that oil there? You don't even deserve me to tell you I've said it in that many videos. Yeah, the bloody cracked map filter, you know what we're talking about. All part of the injector kit. You're replacing injectors, because that's what's going to happen on this. You know it's going to be an injector job. They're going to be old and flogged. maybe someone's been in there and done a dodgy replacement. So we'll check them out on the diagnostic first, but they probably stuffed them anyway. They probably put Chinese copies, remanufactured, or some other brand. They probably didn't change the pipes, probably didn't clean the port, so you couldn't trust the job even if they have done it. See the problem we've got? Because look at the workmanship on the outside here. It's an absolute disaster. Well, that's what I'm calling it. So leak and map filter. What else have we got? Let me guess, some broken clamps. Oh yeah, there it is, look. Look, see that clamp there, broken? By the way, I hate those clamps anyway, but I don't take them off because they break. Right, see this? Another one here, another broken clip, right? What we do, we reuse, see these ones here, if that's not broken, we'll fix that up properly. But I've got these in stock and I just use those up here. So we get rid of these, because what's going to happen here is those sharp bits of plastic there are going to rub on these hoses, and that's what's going to end up damaging the hoses that never have problems, right? What's going on? Hang on. Now that we're looking there, have a look here, have a look here. Oh, look at that. There's no clamps on the fuel lines. Look, all these clips and clamps, nuts and bolts, all missing. No clamp there at all. This will be interesting if we, one day when we get, you know, we're not going to do it in this video, but eventually we're going to get the intercooler off and all the other clamps and that are probably going to be missing as well. And that's why we keep pretty well every nut and bolt for this job in stock. So when we do one of these jobs, we can put all the clamps and clips and everything back where it's supposed to be. Fuel filter wire just hanging down there. That's meant to be, you know, it's hard to do with one hand, but that's meant to be just sort of sitting in there like that, right? You see where that goes, right? You just slide it to take it out, right? Again, I'm doing it left-handed now. It's not working for me, so I'm not doing it now. It just slides out really easy, but yeah, can't do it left-handed. Just swap hands. Here we go. Normally it just goes like that, out like that, just so everybody knows, right? That one's, no, it's a little bit damaged. They butcher, look at them, they butcher it to get it out. All you need to do to put it in, guys, you just go like that to put it in, and you just slide it like that to take it out, right? And it just comes out like that. But this one's butchered now. But guess what? It'll probably stay there. Without me sliding it, it's still enough to stay there. Mostly. Maybe. You could probably fix it up a little bit if this has happened to your vehicle. Anyway, you know, this is not everything, guys. This is under the bonnet. This is just an under bonnet inspection. What are we going to find underneath? It's going to be much the same, isn't it? You know, all the usual stuff, you'd think, but you never know. So let's put the car up and have a look and see what we find underneath. Okay, so we got it up on the hoist, and this is going to be a little bit surprising and informative for everyone, so stay tuned. Now, as far as that coolant leak goes, the coolant being low, we don't know if there's a leak or whatever, there's something going on, but some of the usuals, we won't say, this is an 07, it's done nearly 250k, so it doesn't mean if one radiator leaks, they're all crap or they all leak, because this one's really good. It hasn't got those, you know, it's probably got a tiny bit. Oh, you can see that tiniest little bit of pink at the bottom there. Let me try and hold it still. All right, so if you took the cover off and stripped it all down and had a really good look, up the top, it's hard for you to see, but I can see it. I'm going to shine the light up there and try and show you. I don't know if it's got, see right up the top there, yeah. Very small leak. Almost, we've talked about this in other videos, almost not worth worrying about. There's a little bit up that side in the core as well, or is that a leaf? Anyway, I'm not too sure, but I can tell you there is a slight leak at the radiator. Obviously the bash plates aren't here, so that's good. Did you take the bash plate off? Me neither. Anyway, it makes it easier to inspect everything. We believe, from what I've seen so far, that this engine has been out or replaced. Probably replaced. Probably had a block door pickup because nobody knew about anything. And it's probably, you know, shagged out, and they've got another engine and put it in by the looks of it. Now, it's not a new engine because there's lots of little weepy oil leaks going on. We're going to get through that. But some of the most important things. So far we see the drive shafts, the CVs, everything looks pretty well okay, pretty normal. Original suspension, that's probably my guess, going to be hitting the bump stops a lot. So let's have a look. Yep, bang, look at that. Polishing off those bump stops because the shockers are just not doing their job. Okay, all the ball joints and everything looks okay. Now, I believe the lower arms have been changed, and the reason is, and this is why we talk about using genuine guys, there's so many people that want to argue the point. This is what we see on the same cars every day, and feedback from clients that did the poor man pays twice. And this is one of those. We can tell you, the arms are different. You can try and work out what brand they are, but I'll just hold it still for a minute so you can see the nuts are different, right? The end of the ball joint there's different. The arms are slightly, they're copies, but they're slightly different. The arms are probably not too bad, but, you know, it's mainly the bushes, right? And you can see they're just like a bit of a, that one doesn't look too bad, but see this one, it's kind of like getting all twisted up and going to pieces, and it's just yuck, right? Now, before we're having a play around with it, hard to show you, but they're certainly not original. Look at this one, again, twisted up, it's getting all twisted and that. So it could be those for best arms, it could be the Pedders arms or whatever, but I'm guessing if the car's done 250k, they got replaced not that long ago, and look at it, they're just kind of like a dog's breakfast, really getting really twisted up, and the rubber's rubbish, okay? So I don't know what brand they are. Stick with the genuine, guys. They normally last 250, 300, 400,000 Ks. If you've got to do them again with the genuines. You know what you're going to get value for money wise. I know they're expensive. We can get them for you a bit cheaper. Happy to help out. We don't keep them on the shelf, but contact me and leave plenty of notice. They need to be paid for up front. You need to wait for us to get them in and get them to you and all that, and they're heavy, whatever, right? So the other thing that I just had a quick and noticed, have a look at this. Look at the engine mounts. The vacuum line's not even connected. It's just flopping around there somewhere. So you'll see, I'll get up there for you. So that vacuum, I can't even see exactly where it is. It's sitting right where it's meant to be, more or less, but which leads me to think, yeah, they've had the engine out. We're not worried about the turbo oil. Like I said, that's probably coming down from the intercooler. When you've got leaks or weeps or years of oil at the bottom of an engine, you need to start from the top first and clean it up first. So just having a quick look around, at least they do things in pairs, they're consistent, right? Have a look at that. Another engine mount not plugged in. So consistency's good. Apparently you don't need bash plates. Is this hooked in properly? That's amazing that clips there on that hose. That's good. What else do we see? So no movement in the wheel bearings, but it doesn't mean it's okay, and they're not going to shag out anytime real soon. So if you want a set of front wheel bearings, hear that, guys? That's another client coming in for a service on a 1GD FTV Prado. Stay tuned for that video. I'll be back finishing the inspection on this video as soon as I've received that vehicle. One sec. Okay, sorry about that. So it's under control. Have a look at this, something else interesting. There's always interesting things. When we let the oil out, it went shooting backwards like a Hilux. For those that don't know, the Prado, it's quite cool because it points straight down. It normally goes straight down. Every time I can think of, it goes straight down. If it's really hot oil, it might come down in a bit of a fan type thing where you got to put the drain trap a bit higher. But this one, it was shooting backwards, nearly lost it completely, like, you know, out it went. And we went, oh, there's something going on here. Now, there's a particle there, so I'm just going to shut up for a minute and you have a look. It looks like a bit of metal, actually. Can you see that? I don't know what it is, but it is something. I need to get an assistant to get a little pick or something and sort of give it a bit of a jiggle around and see if, I reckon, it might not come out, but there's something going on there. That might be too big to come out the hole. Maybe we need to try and grab it and bust it up. Maybe that's from changing the plug, you know, the plug oil leak thing, whatever. Maybe a little pair of pointy nose pliers or something and see if we can grab it. If we lose it in there, it doesn't matter. It's not going to ever affect anything, but we could pull the sump off to get it out. But I just want to either get it out or see the oil pickup to know that it's clear. And if it's clear, I wouldn't worry about it. It's never going to go anywhere, right? So yeah, you see if you can get your little pointy nose up there. Maybe the ones with the angle head on them, maybe. You know, the ones with the angle. That way you haven't got a... Anyway, we'll just look at while he gets ready. Well, let's have a look around. So oil on the turbo, don't worry. Auto, no leaks, no issues, don't worry. Give it an oil change. Looks like the servicing, well, we've just lubed the driveline anyway, but looks like there was a bit of grease in there, so that's good. I've had a quick look over the rest of the vehicle quickly. The rear pads are okay. There's no play or noise in the wheel bearings. It's obviously a Grande. It's on airbags. Once again, you can see these bump stops. Boom, 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 because your shock is old and flogged. Original suspension, so that needs to be changed eventually also. Having a quick look around the car. Again, in a video, I'm not going to see everything. I've had a quick look at these bushes actually. See the crack just starting there? The upper trailing arms. We have those on the shelf as well if you need those. Not sold separately, pick up only, or we can include them with some other kits because they're just small things there. I don't know, $100 each or something, the whole arm, or it might be a bit more. I can't remember. Can't even remember the price. Anyway, oh, here's a good one. Look at this fuel hose, guys. The fuel hose here, it's sweating a little bit. You can see the minor leak, but look at the crack there right in the middle. That's about to crack open and fuel's going to leak everywhere. So that we talk about that fuel hose. So we only tell you about the things that need doing. We're not going to crap on about things that don't. The exhausts are good. They don't need changing. We've changed that rear fuel filter, freshened that up because it looked a bit old. We didn't know when it was done. Hasn't been off-road, hasn't got any sort of damage like that. Any luck with this, getting this bit out, mate? What's happening there? Get around here on the right angle. What do we got? Any luck? We having any luck there? Just even try and grab it and pull it or play around, whatever you can do. If we get it out, yeah. You reckon it's plastic or steel? Or
silicon.
Bit of silicon type stuff. That should pull out then, shouldn't it? I reckon it's something firmer than silicon. You know, if you change that oil leak, that plug thing, it looks hard like plastic. Like the plastic if the plug broke off, you know what I mean? So we're having a little discussion here on the video. Anyway, we're going to play around with that, and a couple other things I noticed. Some oil leak sweats. Again, you've got to start at the top fixing. There's valve cover leaks and stuff, so we'll do the injector job, get all that sorted out, get it cleaned up. A lot of these are sometimes sweats. We've mentioned in other videos where the vane pump, the vacuum pump, sometimes the O-ring on the cam sensor around here, which you can't buy the O-ring separately, so you've got to use an aftermarket one. Crank sensor I meant to say. I think the new crank sensor is about $200 anyway, so a bit of a sweat here or there, but you've got to start at the top. So we're going to make a bit of a list on this one, and you can work through it slowly. The most important job is probably that injector replacement job, but there'll be a separate video with a diagnostic on that. I hope you found this one interesting, and there may or may not be a conclusion. So let's just wait and see if we get that out of the sump without too much swearing. Okay, conclusion is the oils are sort of blocking the hole. This one's been a bit overdue for some oil changes, but we did see in there, and the oil pickup was not completely blocked. There was some debris. So at this stage, it's going to go on the list as a possible need of clean. So at the next oil change, check again, and the injectors need to be done as a matter of urgency because of the debris on the oil pickup. It could be old or it could be from the injectors. So they need to be checked and reseated or replaced. Anyway, guys, for this video, that's it. So hopefully you learned something out. There'll be more information on this one at a later date, and possibly a diagnostic video. If you got something out of that, please give us the thumbs up. And yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe and turn the bell on so you don't miss the next important bit of information.